Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a toy from the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise line, or is Transformers Robots in Disguise Prime? I don't know. But it's the Deluxe Class Knockout. A lot of stuff to go over with this toy, so I'm just going to keep this intro brief. Take a good look at that CGI image. That'll be important later. Here's his tech specs on the side, cross cell on the bottom, and we come to the back. See this nice photoshopped image of the robot right here? Yeah, remember that. We're going to get to that a little bit later. Also photoshopped image of the car, as well as telling you to watch Prime. Well, that's pretty much all there is to the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure. Okay, here's Knockout. First step we want to do is take the instructions and throw them in the garbage. These are by far some of the worst instructions I have ever experienced in my entire life. I mean, this is going back to the 1980s when toy companies didn't know what the heck they were doing most of the time and just threw toys out. The main problem with these instructions can best be summed up here. Look at that robot mode. The arms are mistransformed. The chest is mistransformed. You know what? We'll get into that a little bit later. But I do want to thank other YouTube reviewers who went ahead and basically were able to figure out the right way to transform this guy. And even as recently as a couple weeks ago, there was a step I was missing in his chest. But like I said, we'll get to that a little bit later. As you can see, Knockout comes packaged in his car mode, which is where we're starting this review. Right off the bat, you're going to notice there's a lot of paint detail missing, which is kind of not indicative of the character. If you watched Prime, you know that Knockout, while being a brilliant Decepticon doctor, is also incredibly vain. Maroon, splotches of red, and little swipes of silver on the side. This could have been there could have been a lot more detail on this vehicle. Car does roll, and he does have weapon storage. Now let's just come in real quick and take a look at this weapon. Alright, some of you might recognize this staff as one of the original 13 Prime's hidden weapons that's been the MacGuffin for Season 2. This is not really a weapon I identify with Knockout. If you remember the front of the box, he sort of had this end coming out of his hand, but in truth it was like a drill. He also had a circular saw. Either one I think would have been better to include. And in fact, I think either the single-carded or the version of the Cyberverse Knockout that comes with the Energon driller comes with a saw blade and hand drill. The weapons can be separated, so you can have two independent melee weapons. They can peg together, which is basically how I usually have it stored, because there's only one peg to peg into the side of the vehicle. There's no other weapon storage, so you either have it on the side of the vehicle or you just keep it off to the side yourself. Let me show you now how this guy transforms the right way. Okay, we're going to start transformation with his legs. This is one of the things I like about some of these newer deluxe class figures, is that you can split the transformation into two sections evenly. Legs, then torso, or torso and legs. I like transformations like that just because it helps keep things out of the way. To start, you're just going to split the half of the car, and straighten out. This will form the legs. Come in behind here, split the rear section, rotate the back bumpers around. This will form heels. Rotate the car around so you can see the undercarriage. Come in here, these little black triangles you're going to lift up. Uh, swing around and bring forward. This will be his feet. You can worry about adjusting them properly once you have him standing. And just like that, the legs are done. Now let's move to the upper section of knockout. Just adjusted my camera slightly so you guys can get a better view. First thing is you want to come in underneath the front of the car and swing out that little flap. Or you can do that later, it's up to you. Next, you want to come up here to the roof and split that section and swing it out. Be careful of the pegs. These are this new hook and tab system. You really actually, instead of just pegging and unpegging, are actually unlatching. So you might want to press in and then fold it out. Now these are going to make the arms. I'm going to show you the right way, not the way to do it in the instructions. Let's rotate the car over. Bring the arm section up at the area that will be the shoulder. Fold out this panel like so. Reach in, fold out the hand, rotate it around so the hand is now up, fold it back in like so. Do it on this side as well. Just the same little thing. Next, what you want to go ahead and do is rotate the arms around on a hinge that's right there. So the wheels are now facing down. And then go ahead and close the windshield, or I should say driver's side window, on the arms. Rotate them into position. Bring the arms down. Basically want your car to look like this. Next, you're going to bring this whole section forward, like so. Don't worry, the front end should start to separate a little. Basically, those what will be the two shoulder sections. Yes, I can speak. There's a red tab, I don't know if you can see that, right there, that you're going to peg into a hole right there. So you got to make sure everything is brought down. Just like that. Then these little sections are going to fold around the side, and there's a gray tab that you're going to fold them into. Next, what you want to do, and this is one of the steps not shown in the directions. Well, actually, I think one of the things you want to do first is rotate the arms down, or you can do that later. It's already started to pop forward. You want to make sure the front hood part is pulled out, and then from the top here you just want to flip it forward, which will expose Knockout's head, and then bring these side panels up, and they will peg or hook into an area on his chest, and there we have Knockout in robot mode. Here's a great look at the head sculpt to Knockout. He's got that little sadistic smirk on his face, and some pretty sweet light piping. Now, I've heard some people have gone ahead and taken that out to try and make it like a clear light piping, but I like it this way. Really no new colors added into his robot mode, but you can see this textured detailing. I think I have the, oh, there we go. Have the chest a little off, but see the texturing here and all that stuff. By pulling that front panel out, you give his chest a little more layering. You have the shoulder spikes. Just really a nice figure. All the way down. Let's take a look at his articulation now. For articulation, Knockout's head is on a ball joint, but it is limited by the shoulder pads and the sculpt of the head. His arms have these little independent secondary shoulder pads, but the whole arm is on a ball joint. You do have bending and swivel at the elbow. Actually, more like at the upper bicep. Now, I should warn you that when you bend at the elbow, there is a chance for the driver's side window to scrape against the arm, so be careful. Ball joint in the hand gives him a full range of motion there. No waist articulation, but ball jointed at the hips, and nice knee bend. The feet are really nice because you not only have a ball joint in the foot, but you also have a swivel. Actually, I was mistaken. You do not have a ball joint in the foot. You have a swivel up and down there, but then you have that pivot side to side. So you can get some really good poses out of him. Knockout is an interesting addition to the Prime line. While this figure was a foregone conclusion, seeing as how important he is to the series, the realization is a little off in some spots. The arms could have been done a little bit better, and I would have liked to have seen a way to fold that window in. Also, as you can see here, these large chest pieces really block his face from certain angles. But I do recommend him for your collection. Now, for my special final thought. Normally, I wouldn't do something like this, but I feel it's very important that I say something. The instructions that came with Knockout were abysmal, and it's deplorable that Hasbro put them out like that. I can understand with the economic climate that we're in, having to cut corners on the plastic. Knockout in car mode can fit in the palm of my hand. I can understand cutting back on the paint because that's very expensive. Plus, Hasbro just relocated their factories to Vietnam. But what I can't excuse is the cheapening out on instructions. From what I understand, it's usually a secondary outsource group that do the instructions and take the photos of the figures. There is no reason why they can't be made aware of how to properly transform the figure. A child could break the figure without knowing what to do properly. And I'm very passionate about this because when I was a child, I broke a lot of toys and I thought I was stupid. In my old age, I've come to realize is that the instructions were crap. Here's something I've learned. You want to know why there are a lot of repaints in the world? Because companies back in the 80s did focus groups and they spoke to parents, and parents said to them that they're more inclined to buy a toy for their child that they know they won't break and would enjoy Therefore, while they won't buy the same exact toy over and over, say something like Bumblebee repainted 100 million times, they'll buy because they know their child can transform it and enjoy it. This is not a toy a child would enjoy if they broke it. If they break it, the parent's not going to buy them another knockout. They may not even buy them another figure. Now, like I said, I recommend Knockout to complete your Prime collection if you want them. The mold is already going to be repainted, at least in Japan, with a new head for Smokescreen, which is already setting people off because the animation models aren't exactly 100% accurate. I personally like the way that version of the mold looks because they've taken off a lot of the ARMS Micron ports that they put on the Japanese version of Knockout and give you a cleaner vehicle look. But at least there, you can rest assured that the instructions will be correct. This is your old pal Chuck, and for Knockout, we'll see you next time.